rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending. So here we go. Talent gap convo. Is there a Twitter fan from Utah weighing in here? No? Okay, cool. Notre Dame running back Audric Estime said this yesterday during media availability.
Well, they're a good team. They got a lot of good players, but I feel like their players don't match the players that we have. So if we just play our football, I feel like we should handle business.
Okay, then. Is Audric Estime wrong, and does it matter, Spencer?
I'll answer the first part of that question and say, based on stars coming out of high school, we're talking like strict talent from high school to college, clearly Notre Dame has a recruiting advantage. Yeah. So there is, quote-unquote, better talent with more stars going to Notre Dame than what BYU is consistently picking up. But how have those players been developed? And are the Notre Dame coaches and the new staff under Marcus Freeman right now getting the most out of those big star talent high school players compared to a team like BYU? And we've talked about this before, Jarom. Like when we talk about a guy like Jaron Hall was 2-star, maybe a 3-star athlete coming out of high school. What would he be right now if he were reassessed? If he's a projected first-round NFL draft pick, if he goes in the first round, doesn't that mean 5 stars? Yes. So this is what we don't take into account is BYU's experience and how those players have progressed. Like BYU has a literal 5-star in Kingsley Suamataia, but the way that they have developed their players has some guys, Blake Freeland, Jaron Hall, maybe those guys are 5-star talent right now too. So yeah, Notre Dame coming out of high school, clearly they have more stars on their roster, but I just don't feel like it matters right now. And the immediate response from BYU fans overall on Twitter was, did it matter against Marshall when the Thundering Herd won in South Bend? Like, I would say that Notre Dame is, then if they have all the talent, they are clearly underperforming, and BYU, as they have done so often in the past, they're overperforming based on those stars. So no, I don't think it matters. I think these teams are very, very evenly matched, and depth-wise, while the Irish have more stars, BYU, I feel, has more experience overall, and their players are old, Jarom, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Are you buying into the fact that this matters?
Well, sometimes it does, but I don't think it does right now. So let me answer the question. I agree. Notre Dame is more talented than BYU, as quantified by recruiting rankings. Yes, that is a 4-star school, okay? Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State are the only 5-star schools that exist, okay, where you're getting way more of those guys. And you look at the recruiting rankings over the years. They're top 18 the last 5. BYU fluctuates between the 50s and the 80s. Yes, Notre Dame's more talented. Does that mean you win the game? No. You have to use that talent in a way that wins you a game. That requires discipline. That requires great coaching. That requires great focus. Oh, by the way, development. I would argue that BYU develops its players better than Notre Dame. Zach Wilson from 3-star to 2nd pick, which is 5-star, clearly. Maybe 6-star if they gave those out to the top 5 picks, right? Ziggy Ansah lives in Ghana, top 5 pick in 2012. Tyler Algier, literally a walk-on, a no-star guy, to 5th-round guy, and now a guy who put up 100 yards in an NFL game last Saturday. Dax Milne, from nowhere to starter at punt returning in the NFL, and so on and so forth. You're looking at offensive line. You're looking at Fred Warner, who was a 4-star. BYU gets 4 stars, just not at the same level that Notre Dame does. And you have to use it. Would you rather win on the field or in recruiting? Typically, those are connected. The top 5 teams in recruiting typically are the ones that are competing for national championships. Notre Dame had the #1 recruiting class last year or earlier this year. Marcus Freeman's going to do great things at Notre Dame, but so far it's not been great. At Ohio State, played tough, lost to the Buckeyes, respectable. Next week, losing to Marshall's pathetic at home. That is terrible.
Yeah.
And then you barely beat Cal. They nearly, win the game at the very end with a Hail Mary. And then you beat up North Carolina, whose defense isn't that good, but they still put up some points. So Notre Dame is good. I just don't think they're like Oregon good. I think Arkansas and Notre Dame, although not ranked, tremendous teams with a lot of talent. These are massive challenges for BYU. But BYU does a great job of development, typically of discipline, although we haven't seen that the last couple of weeks, especially defensively. with offsides and personal fouls and whatnot. So this argument is a classic one, and to me, Audric Estime is being a little defensive of where Notre Dame is right now. I understand where he's coming from. They're 2-2. They've got to show up. They got to win this game. They don't want to have a losing record and lose to BYU. They've always got a tough schedule. So I get why he says it. I just think he could phrase it a different way. I think if he just said, look, we've got to play better. We've got great talent on this team, and we expect to come out and win this game because we feel like we're a very good team. Like, you can say it a different way.
Audric, this is not the play. Because, and I know that we spend a lot of time talking about locker room material. You better believe that BYU players are seeing this and hearing this, and it does impact them. Like, I happen to know for a fact, having talked to a few of the players after it came out last night, that this bothers them, and BYU's ready to show Notre Dame that they're going to come and play, and we'll see about the talent gap and how the talent has been developed. It bothers BYU. So this is not a smart play by Audric to come out and say that. I'm with you. Phrase it differently. Do not say straight up, well, they're players. They're not on our level. So if we just do our thing, we'll handle our business. This is not the play. Like, BYU was a little bit emotionally down after the Utah State and Wyoming wins because they didn't play well. They're going to have juice already because of what's going to happen in the setting in Allegiant Stadium, and it's Notre Dame and uniforms. Now you've just ramped up BYU a little bit more. So I think that in a small way was kind of a foolish way to say things. And Jarom, let's have some fun with talking about player development and talent as it pertains to going to the supreme level of the National Football League, okay? Remind me, how many draft picks has BYU had in the last 2 seasons combined?
7.
Interesting, right? I'm looking at Notre Dame, 2021, 2 players drafted. 2022, 4 players drafted. I believe one of those in the supplemental draft. BYU has had more NFL draft picks. More NFL draft picks than, yes, Notre Dame with all those 4- and 5-star recruits and top 20 recruiting classes overall. Jarom, I'm just not buying into it as much as some other people do. Stars matter. I agree with you. Like, you would think that there's a much better chance of having a high-star recruit develop into an incredible potential NFL player. Yeah, like it's going to favor those teams. That's why Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia and Clemson are so good, because they're consistently getting those guys, but they get a bunch of them, and then they're able to develop those already really good players. While BYU doesn't get as many, the coaching staff deserves some great credit, the players themselves, their mentality, because BYU's putting just as much NFL talent into the game as Notre Dame is over the last 2 and 3 years. So, yeah, they're more talented coming out of high school, but does it really matter? I don't think so.
And BYU's about to have 3 quarterbacks in the NFL next year. Taysom Hill, of course, a hybrid, so you could argue 2.5. I mean, at the most important position, if Jaron Hall's the starter next year, it's pretty interesting that you'd have like 2.5 dudes at the most important position there. And ultimately, you decided on the field. Like, if Notre Dame's better, they're going to win the game Saturday. If BYU's better, they're going to win the game Saturday. And that is why we love sports, because you compete and you walk away with a winner. And that's why tying in soccer is the worst.
Hey, Jarom, we're not done yet with Notre Dame commentary. And Marcus Freeman didn't go there, the head coach, saying that BYU had a bunch of old players. But you know what? Notre Dame had at least one person do it. Listen to this.
Yeah, they got, the experienced offensive line. They got guys coming back. I think they're like all 25 or 26 years old.
They're all 25 or 26?
That's defensive lineman Riley Mills for the Fighting Irish. They're all 25 and 26 years old. Jarom, one, are you surprised by this? And does it really matter that the players are older?
No. If it was an advantage, every school would do it. Blah, blah, blah. Preaching to the choir here. They're not all 25 or 26. Kingsley Suamataia is what? Is he 20? Like, this is according to Notre Dame what the O-line age is. Blake Freeland's 37. Clark Barrington's 47. Connor Pace, 30. Karis LeChance, 39. Kingsley Suamatia, 29. Like, I think Clark Barrington might be 24. Like, legitimately, Harris LaChance, maybe. I don't think any of those guys are 25. Yeah, you go on 2 years, you pay your own way. You don't pick where you go. Like, you don't sit there and play football at all. Like, you work like 80 hours a week. Yeah, it's great. No, it's a sacrifice. It's hard, as we know. We went on missions ourselves, Brazil and South Korea. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised when this comes up because obviously BYU is an anomaly. You know what we don't make a big deal of? Like Santa Clara tonight, they have a player who is Israeli who served for 2 years in the military. I'm going to talk about how cool that is that she did that, and how she probably didn't develop a ton as a volleyball player during that time. But she served her obligation to her country, and that's cool. I'm not going to see it as any advantage for her to be a better player against BYU tonight.
Yeah, it does not. Okay, maybe some maturity. Okay, yeah, you go on a mission, you learn some hard lessons, you go through adversity, and you develop. You mature,
get a worm?
for sure. Like you and I, yeah.
Like
sometimes
crap happens.
You come back physically way worse. You know what we don't talk about is how many BYU football players that go on missions and come back and never fully develop because of, injuries they sustained or like nutrition problems they went through. Like that happens too, right? So the idea that because you are older, all of a sudden you are better is just, it's such a
I thought you were better. You have all the
take.
4
And I
stars.
don't
Wait a minute.
understand. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can't have both. You can't have both.
can't have both. Yeah.
Well, their players are good. Their players are good, but we got better players, so, we do our thing. We should just handle our business. Oh, but they've got older players, so that's the great equalizer.
It really helped in Eugene. It
Oh,
really helped BYU in Eugene.
It's just...
Come on. I'm tired of this.
It's just a bunch. It's malarkey, Jarom. It's malarkey, my friend. I'm so tired of the conversation. And I love what Mark Durant put out yesterday when he sent out a gif of old men just like, it says BYU after the Notre Dame game, like these old guys like high-fiving these young people.
Hey, young 4 stars and 5 stars.
Yeah, we got the maturity factor. We got you.
We got insurance. We got life insurance and maturity. If BYU wins Saturday, let's be like, dude, it's because they all went on missions. That's why. And if they lose, we'll be like, it's because they all went on missions. Either way, come on now.